Natural healing. So we are going to talk today about nighttime sniffling, coughing, fever, so you can rest medicine. Sound familiar? Kind of common jingle. And it's flu and cold season. So yeah, so what do you guys do? I don't know. What are some of your favorite things that you guys run to when your kiddos or you are not feeling well? So what is some of the things? And I can tell you that most people run for common NyQuil. Okay. But want to kind of actually bring up some things which you guys might not be aware of. So, a lot of the medications themselves have side effects which are not really good. But I kind of want to talk to you about the ingredients. So they have artificial flavors and tons of artificial dyes, just to name a few. And a lot of times you'll see red dye and blue dye in NyQuil. Okay. And blue dye is, and this is what we're giving our kids, this is what you're taking. And blue dye is associated with asthma issues, so more breathing problems. Blue dye is associated with liver damage, and it is also associated with increased risk of cancer and ADHD type symptoms. Okay. And red dye has been associated with DNA damage. And there's a link between red dye and colorectal cancer, hyperactivity, irritability, restlessness, and all that fun stuff. So, this is in what the medication that we usually run for when we're not feeling well. So what do you do? And what can you do? Well, first off, so there are some actually a really good over the counter supplement called Boiron, Bioron, and you can find this at like um Whole Foods. I know sells some of this stuff and they have like really good things for like cough. They even have like a throat spray for like sore throats, and it's got echinacea in there, and these are good homeopathic supplements that are a lot easier for you to um, give, and they're safer for your kids, they're safer for you, um, to help with that. Some other things that you can do to support yourself naturally. So if you wind up with cold in like the cold and flu season, so things like peppermint essential oil and eucalyptus are really good for opening up the passageways in your nose. Also, to kind of calm down and bring down inflammation in your lungs, it kind of can help with breathing. Um, so you can do a couple different things with these essential oils. I actually do like usually a combination. Like if I got sick, I will mix in my diffuser some peppermint essential oil, some eucalyptus, and I use Young Living. doTERRA is really good too. You can use Young Living, you could use doTERRA, but I'll mix like wintergreen. I will use peppermint essential oil, um, and I actually really like Thieves a lot too, because Thieves actually has a lot of antimicrobial properties in there, and so it can kill viruses in the air. So I'll mix like a combination of like wintergreen, spearmint, peppermint, eucalyptus, and Thieves in my diffuser, and I will put that and have that going during the night. Some of the other things that you can do is you can make your own Vicks vapor rub, like, and I don't mean like Vicks, the actual thing, but like your own vapor rub, your own cough rub. You can put a couple drops, and each person's skin is going to be a little bit different, and a little bit, so you have to kind of make sure that you're not sensitive. So I would just try out like a small area. If something, and so peppermint is a hot oil. And what do I mean by that? A hot oil is something that can irritate. It doesn't like hot, like burn, but it can irritate the skin. And so you want to make sure that you dilute it with like coconut oil or jojoba oil when you mix it. So sometimes I will mix a combination of eucalyptus and peppermint essential oil with some coconut oil, and then I will make like a salve, and you can rub it on your chest. You can put it on the bottom of your kid's feet at night, and that will turn around and help reduce coughing. Again, it soothes the airways and the passages and your sinuses, so it can help kind of open that up. You can turn around and put like a couple drops of peppermint and eucalyptus on a cotton ball and put it in your pillowcase. And that can help out significantly too, so you can, like, sleep with that. So there's a couple different things that you can help, like, soothe that cough, open up the passageways, um, and help with breathing, and help with that congestion instead of turning to, like, some of the over-the-counter medications. Again, Boiron has a really good, line, so I would definitely reach out for that. If you are a current patient of mine, then what we do is we actually can muscle test to see which combination of different herbs and supplements your body specifically wants and specifically how much it needs to help your body fight off the infection. And a lot of times people can decrease the severity of their symptoms and the length of time that they are not feeling well pretty significantly. Like a lot of times, like in half. So if you're normally sick, if you're the type of person that is normally sick, when you get a cold or the flu, you're down for like 7 to 10 days. Some people have been like only like a couple days where they feel really bad, and then they're up and running with it after 2 to 3 days. So think of like not needing time off of work or not missing things or not missing family functions, especially with all the holidays coming around. So that is really, really important because I don't know about you guys, but if I don't work, I don't get paid. So, making sure that my immune system up and running is very, very important. Um, I use several different company lines for the immune system, and it just depends on what you test for. Echinacea is a really good herb. Love that. I use a company called Cellcore, which has liquid tinctures. And these liquid tinctures are made up of a whole bunch of different herbs together, and each tincture is slightly different than the other one. And they're pretty fantastic for, you know, um, viruses, bacteria, parasites, all of that fun stuff. So there's a company called Systemic Formulas that actually helps support the immune system as well, and they have some really good supplements as well. So it really depends on what the person tests for. One of the things that you can also do, which nobody wants to hear, but cut out your carbs and your sugars. So carbohydrates, all of them will break down to sugar. Sugar feeds bad bacteria, also feeds things like parasites, like candida. Sugar, actually, too much of it will actually suppress your immune system. They've actually done studies on this. So, your white blood cells, which are your cells that fight infection and things like cancer, those white blood cells actually almost become paralyzed in your body for periods of time when you ingest too much carbohydrates or sugars. And again, all carbohydrates break down to sugar. So you have to be careful with the amount of sugar. Well, that is very, very difficult to do sometimes, especially around the holidays. We just got done with Halloween. So people went on sugar binges, and I saw tons of kids who all of a sudden got sick right after Halloween. Why? Because they started eating a ton of sugar. Okay, again, it suppresses your white blood cells. So, and then from Halloween, so that's the end of October, we go into Thanksgiving, and that is at the end of November. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people are now starting to celebrate multiple Thanksgivings. So you feel like you have to eat multiple things at multiple people's houses, especially if you have like the in-laws and or whatever, or if your parents were divorced and now you're going to multiple houses. So you're eating at multiple people's houses. Or you're celebrating it several times a day. And then it's the leftovers and the desserts and the leftover desserts and everything else. So there's that. And then right after that is Christmas and work parties, and people are bringing um, snacks and goodies throughout the whole entire month for Christmas. You get gifts of cookies, you get gifts of, Fannie Mae candies and things like that. So it's not just Christmas, it's the whole entire month. And then it's New Year's, more snacks, more appetizers, more alcohol. So that's in January. And then shortly after that, it's Valentine's Day. That's in February. So again, more chocolates, more dessert. And then after that is St. Patrick's Day, which is a whole bunch of alcohol. So, which is a ton of carbs and a ton of sugar. So it's like sugar season for like October, November, December, January, February, 5 months straight of like lots of sugar. So, what can you do and how can you change some of this? So, first off, having, holiday treats and things like that here and there is not going to make or break you. But you have to be pretty diligent. And as long as your diet is fairly clean, having that one day of whatever, and then try to make recipes a little bit healthier. Like, I'm always looking for healthier recipes with lower sugar and lower carb intake. So, for instance, I haven't tried this one yet, and I share this on my Facebook page all the time. So, if you don't follow me, the Oasis for Natural Healing. So, I found a recipe for brownies, and believe it or not, it used feta cheese. Who would have thought feta cheese would have made a really good brownie? Now, I have not made it yet, but I did see in the comment section that a lot of people said that this was really good, and the brownies came out very, very moist. So it was like feta cheese, organic cacao powder. I think they use maple syrup. Somebody used date sugar from what I read. I probably would use stevia or monk fruit. Um, but yeah. Um, and then I think it was like an egg, and it was a like baking powder or baking soda. And everything was put in a blender, and then you literally pour it and you just bake it. So that's a very, very low carb dessert that I guess turned out pretty good. I have not tried it. I found a high protein pumpkin roll. So, it's pumpkin roll. It's the base I think is yogurt and egg whites. And then once you bake that, so you smear it all on like a cake pan, and then or a cookie sheet, and then you bake that, and then you put like pumpkin and like pumpkin puree, and then you put seasonings, and then like a low sugar, like I wouldn't do Splenda or anything like that. That's got a lot of artificial things, but I would do again using stevia or monk fruit. And so these are like lower carb, lower sugar desserts. So you can have desserts without causing a whole bunch of inflammation within your body too. So these are some ways that you can actually support your immune system, still enjoy the holidays, but without going off the rail. And again, I don't know about you, but how many people do you know get sick? And have you ever missed a holiday because you were sick or you weren't feeling good? And who wants to miss the holidays with their families unless you don't like your family, but I mean, most people don't want to miss holidays. You want to remember those things. And who wants to be sick during the holidays? Holidays are stressful enough for a lot of people. And stress can lower your immune system too. So you have several different things kind of going against you. Stress during the holidays, okay? And lots of sugar, right? So those are two things that are already against you. And this is why people get sick during the holidays. So don't go reaching for, if you do start getting sick, catch it right away. Start using some things like, again, echinacea, elderberry. These are some really good herbs that, and again, consult with your holistic practitioner. Um, but elderberry, echinacea can really help support the immune system. So again, at the office, we use Cellcore, we use systemic formulas and multiple different supplements from each one. And we can kind of figure out what's going on with you. So go run for Boiron. Don't go for the NyQuil. Use some essential oils. Cut out your sugars and your carbs. You can still have desserts. There's tons of paleo and keto recipes. Suggest that you start looking them up for your favorite desserts. Play around with them and have a happy, healthy holiday season, guys.